It's been an interesting few days watching and reading all the fallout from the Packers' loss to the Titans on Thursday. I've watched the film, screamed at my computer, screamed at my TV, and fought down my nausea. And here are my thoughts about where this team is right now. Welcome to the Packer Mentality Podcast. My name is Patrick Corrigan, and I'm your host. You can find and follow me on Twitter at Packer Mentality. My podcast can be found on YouTube, Spotify, and Google Podcasts. Please hit the subscribe button below if you are watching on YouTube. And as always, thank you so much for joining me. A quick note that the Packers worked out several players today, including a blast from the past. Was shocked to see the name of wide receiver Geronimo Allison among that group. Allison last played for the Packers in 2019 and hasn't caught a pass in the NFL since then. He was last on the Lions roster in 2021. He did opt out of the 2020 season due to COVID. Do not believe he's been on a roster so far this year. I'm not going to drag this episode out because there will be plenty of time to find people to blame when the Packers get eliminated from playoff contention. And the way they are playing, that could happen in the next 2 weeks before their bye week or shortly thereafter. But I do expect it to happen fairly soon. I'm very unhappy with the defense, and I think it's pretty clear that the Packers can and should part ways with Joe Barry in the offseason, if not sooner. He's definitely earned it. He's never led a good defense, and he's not doing any favors to this group. It's clear that Joe Barry is a poor defensive play caller. He is just setting his team, his players up to fail. Too often, the secondary is playing too deep for the situation. I've mentioned it on numerous occasions already this season. There is no reason for defensive backs to be playing a soft zone 10 to 12 yards off and backing up at the snap when it's third and less than 10. It's an easy completion right in front of them for first downs, and it just makes this whole team look bad. Playing a soft zone with no pass rush is always going to be a disaster. You're just setting your guys up to fail. Regardless of the defense play calling, it's hard to tell if the scheme of the defense is bad or if the players are unwilling or unable to execute the scheme. For example, on too many plays, it looks like at least one or two players on the field are unaware or confused on whether they're playing man or zone. And unfortunately for Darnell Savage, it seems like he's usually involved in that confusion. So I have to ask, is anyone coaching these guys? How are they being coached? They appear to be making correctable mistakes continuously, game after game. On the offensive side, this offense is not threatening anyone. Whether or not it's Matt LaFleur's plays that he calls in or Rodgers is changing the plays at the line of scrimmage, the play calling is just uninspired. It's boring and predictable. This offense is way too horizontal. Just no vertical plays or very few vertical plays or threatening the defense down the field. And the defenses have figured this out. They are sitting on the short throws and throws behind the line of scrimmage. You can't win with that offense. And it's already been proven this season. The Packers are 4-0 this season when Rodgers throws for more than 7 yards per attempt, and 0-7 when his yards per attempt is less than that mark. A couple plays on Thursday that just drove me nuts, and have been driving me nuts all season because I see it pretty much every week. Saw it right away, first drive of the game on Thursday night. Packers had a 3rd and 5, but threw to Robert Tonyan running a 1-yard route. on 3rd and 5. It was incomplete, but he was not going to make the first down. It was doomed. There was no chance he was going to get the first down on that play. It was a bad play call, bad play design, if that's what they're running in that situation. Multiple times during the game, Packers love to run these quick wide receiver screens or bubble screens to Aaron Jones. They split him out wide or motion him out and run a screen with him out there. They're becoming less and less effective over the course of the season because the defense has these plays scouted and they're just sitting on them. Part of the problem with this offense has been the lack of a playmaker or threat at wide receiver. But since he returned from injury, Christian Watson has shown that he is a downfield threat and a playmaker. He showed that against the Cowboys. But he was only targeted deep one time against the Titans, and that was deep into the second half. With Romeo Doubs hurt, it's been pretty clear that Allen Lazard and Sammy Watkins are just not up to being a number one receiver. In fact, Sammy Watkins isn't bringing anything to this offense, and he shouldn't be taking snaps away from other players such as Samori Toure. I'm looking forward to get Romeo Doubs back as soon as possible because I want to see what he and Christian Watson can do when they are both on the field at the same time. We'll talk about that if and when the Packers are eliminated from the playoff race. Speaking of which, does anybody out there have legitimate hope that this team can make the playoffs? Let me know in the comments. But we do have a game on Sunday night. We have one of the best teams in the league, the Eagles, coming. Actually, we're going to be in Philadelphia for that game. I will have a preview of that game that will be up on late Thursday or early Friday. Until then, have a great rest of your week. Be safe if you are traveling for Thanksgiving, and have a very happy Thanksgiving to all of you and your families. And go Pack Go.